He was not the flame that warmed, nor the light that guided, nor the sea that nourished. He was destruction, pure, unrelenting, inevitable. He was Perses, titan of ruin, born from the fracture of sky and earth, a shadow that walked wherever creation sought to grow. His body was gray stone, cracked and scarred, his form draped in ancient cloth heavy as eternity. He did not move swiftly, nor speak often, but wherever he was present, things fell. Walls crumbled, mountains split, forests burned. For Perses was not chaos for its own sake. He was the reminder that nothing endures forever. The ancients whispered that he was the hand of inevitability, the breath of collapse, the presence that follows pride and crowns. Where kings raised palaces, he stood in the distance, waiting. Where empires carved their names in stone, his shadow stretched across the walls, patient, inevitable. He was not malice. He was not cruelty. He was the weight of ruin itself, indifferent, eternal, unbroken. Perses bore no throne, for thrones shatter. He bore no temples, for temples fall. He bore no hymns, for voices are silenced in fire and ash. But his worship was everywhere, in the silence after earthquakes, in the ashes after flames, in the emptiness where once a city stood. He was prayed to without words. Every trembling hand lifted against fate invoked him. Every ruin spoke his name in silence. Every scar upon the earth was a hymn to Perses. His form, draped and immense, stood unmoving, yet his presence was motion, collapse, destruction. Above him, crimson lightning tore the sky. Beneath him, mountains crumbled into fire. Around him, fog rose like the breath of ruin itself. His gaze was not wrathful. It was worse. It was calm. The calm of one who knows that all things fall, and waits for the moment when silence consumes the living. Men feared him, yet they also needed him. For destruction clears the way for renewal. Forests burn that new trees may grow. Walls fall that new paths may open. Perses was not only the shadow of endings, but the threshold of beginnings. Yet mortals did not see the beginning. They saw only fire, and feared his name. The gods of Olympus looked upon him with unease. For Zeus held thunder, Poseidon held seas, Hades held death, but Perses held the unmaking of all. What use is thunder if the stone collapses? What use are seas if the land breaks apart? What use is death if there is nothing left to bury? Perses was not life against death. He was the silence after both. When the Titanomachy raged, Perses stood as ruin given form. Where titans fell, his shadow deepened. Where gods struck, his presence grew. For every blow was destruction, and destruction was his hymn. He was not chained as others were. He was not buried in Tartarus. For how can one bind what already embodies breaking? How can one imprison destruction? And so he endured, not as conqueror, not as victor, but as shadow, unmoving, unbroken, inevitable. Men remembered him only in fragments, a name whispered among the stars, a shadow in the tales of ruins, a figure carved into the silence of destruction. He was not beloved, he was not honored, but he was always present. When towers fell, he was there. When storms split the sea, he was there. When fires consumed the horizon, it was Perses who breathed in the smoke. He is not hope. He is not mercy. He is not glory. He is the truth that all must face, that all things built will fall, all names carved will fade, all voices lifted will be silenced. Perses does not ask. Perses does not give. Perses waits, and when the time comes, he takes. Now, when storms rage red across the sky, when fire burns upon the mountains, when silence follows the roar of destruction, his form appears in memory, a titan of gray stone, cracked and veined, legs veiled in ancient cloth, his gaze calm, stern, eternal. He is the titan of ruin, the shadow of endings, the silence of unmaking. He is Perses, unmoved, unbroken, eternal. He was not born of light, nor sea, nor the fertile earth. He was shaped from fracture, from collapse, from the silence that follows when worlds are torn apart. He was Perses, the titan of destruction, the embodiment of ruin itself. Unlike others, he was not the spark of creation nor the keeper of order. He was the reminder that all things fall, that all structures bend beneath time, that all names written upon stone will one day be erased. His body was carved of gray stone, veined with cracks like scars of eternity. Draped in heavy ancient cloth, he stood as a monument to unmaking. Upon his stern face was no rage, no joy, no sorrow, only calm inevitability. For Perses did not need fury. He did not need chaos. He was the certainty of endings. He was the hand of collapse that no god, no mortal, no empire could deny. When men first raised walls of clay, Perses watched. When kings carved cities of marble, Perses lingered in silence. When empires stretched their banners to the horizon, he walked unseen through their foundations, waiting, for Perses was patient. He did not strike with haste. He did not roar with arrogance. He simply endured, knowing that all things must one day return to dust. The ancients whispered that when mountains fell, it was Perses who had breathed upon them. When forests burned, it was his presence that fanned the flame. When oceans swallowed ships, his shadow weighed upon the waves. Not malice, not cruelty, but destruction, indifferent and eternal. The Olympians feared him, though they spoke his name rarely. For Zeus ruled thunder, Poseidon ruled seas, Hades ruled death. But Perses ruled none of these. He ruled endings, and even the gods cannot escape endings. Thunder fades, seas recede, death claims only what still lives, but ruin claims all. When the Titanomachy thundered across the cosmos, Perses did not shout, nor rage. He simply stood, his shadow lengthening across the battlefield. Every strike was destruction, and destruction was his song. He was not bound like his kin. He was not chained in the pit of Tartarus. For how do you imprison collapse itself? How do you cage what dwells in every fracture, in every fall, in every silence after war? Perses remained, silent, immovable, eternal. Mortals did not build him temples. Why build if building is his prey? They did not raise hymns. Why sing if silence is his gift? And yet, unknowingly, they worshipped him. Every broken wall was his altar. Every ruin was his shrine. Every scar upon the earth was his hymn. He was the shadow men feared, yet the truth they could not deny. For Perses was not absence. He was presence. Not emptiness, but the weight of collapse. Not void, but the crushing silence after sound. His form, veiled and immense, stood forever against the horizon. Red lightning split the heavens above him. Ash and fire veiled the land beneath. His calm eyes fixed upon eternity, as if to remind all things that they are temporary. Empires tried to forget him, but their ruins remembered. Kings tried to deny him, but their tombs spoke his name. Cities tried to silence him, but their ashes carried his breath. For Perses does not fade. He does not bow. He does not vanish. He waits, and when the time comes, he unravels what was built. Even now, he endures. In every storm that splits the sky, he is present. In every quake that shakes the earth, he is felt. In every silence after disaster, his breath lingers. He is not hope. He is not mercy. He is not glory. He is truth, the truth that nothing lasts. Perses is the weight of endings, the patience of ruin, the shadow of destruction that cannot be moved. And so he stands still, a titan of cracked stone, legs hidden in drapery of eternity, his stern gaze carved into the sky. He is Perses, the titan of destruction, the end that walks with all beginnings, the silence after every song, the fire after every wall, the shadow after every crown, unmoved, unbroken, eternal.